They was out here plotting. That's what they said. Woo, thoughts and plots. What we gonna do with that? Anyway, I don't know if y'all heard me before. It's a Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's season 17. It's episode 7. We just gonna get straight into the things because there's a lot to unpack over here. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't even know where to begin. Thank you, El Cid. El Cid says we can start here. Like, share, subscribe. It's the thing to do. We got to get the business out of the way before we get into the situation. Like I said, I enjoyed this episode. I feel like because it took me to so many places, and I needed to think through what I was gonna say when I come over here, because it's a show. It's a show with a lot of acting by some, and not so much others. I feel like it's sometimes hard to tell where the acting ends and where it begins. So we're going to begin here on this sprinter where they're still screaming at each other. We know we left off last week with Kelly telling Portia that she has some hot chili Frito coochie cat. Now, I don't know. It's a lot of coochie cat conversation going on over here. And that's why I'm unclear really on how I'm feeling, because these ladies are divided. There's clear sides. There's clear alliances with people. And it is what it is. That's how we're going to deal with it. However, some of the things that are coming out of these ladies' mouths is, on an alliance situation where they're coming from both sides. This has me questioning things. So, I guess that makes for a good episode. Portia is over here. I'm not personally entertained by Portia and her stories. It's why I didn't like Mia. Like, if you come over here and giving it the best that you got, that's one thing. Keeping the mess up even is another thing. But just making shit up for entertainment purposes is irritating. And so anything that comes out that's like somebody said Portia did it or Portia's lying, I'm going to be inclined to believe that Portia is lying unless she shows me some receipts. Like, I'm always going to side-eye Portia because she be lying, and so does her crew. She aligns herself with Phaedra, so they be over here. Phaedra be having her tongue hanging out of her mouth all the time, always talking about her vagina and other parts, body parts. That's unnecessary to talk about. Like, girl, what is happening with Frick and Frack besides the lies? And then who's their other ally? I don't know whether Drew is an ally or not. Right now, it seems like she is because she's selling Go Naked hair again. But last year, she was an adversary. So we can't trust any of these relationships. But Portia said Kelly caught her taking a whole bath and she wanted some of her platinum punani nani. That's, we're going to break it down to that because this is stupid. They're somewhere on a trip in Miami and she decides she's going to take a whole bath. Why? I don't know. Are you coming in? Are you going out? What is it about your cooch that makes you feel like you need to take a whole bath in the middle, of your vacation? So, there's like I said, everybody's vagina is over here being talked about. And if your vagina smelled like hot chili Fritos, then I guess you might need a whole bath, like in between sets or whatever's going on over here. This is where they decided to take the conversation. Portia's over here accusing this lady of scissoring Kelly. Kelly said Portia is the one that needs a rose. You need a rose. I don't need a rose. And then the whole conversation, because they was going at it, then the whole conversation just switched over to the quality and the pleasure that may come from a rose. Who's that with the gold boobs out? That's K Michelle. That's K Michelle. K Michelle came over here dressed in a fishnet outfit, looks like a mermaid. But they all look quite interesting. It's a hot mess in this sprinter. I don't see nothing I would want. I can't tell what Drew has on. That is a hot mess. And apparently so is they coochies, because there's having all these discussions about people's cootie cat. Hey, Lotus Egyptian Flower, did you watch the episode? K Michelle is, a part of the conversation, whether she's quiet or whether she's not quiet. She's looking at them like a damn fool, because they were literally just ripping each other apart. And then somebody says, you're the one that needs the rose. And somebody was like, I like the rose. And then Phaedra's like, I haven't heard anybody talk about the rose like they used to. And K Michelle's like, what the hell is just happening? Like, now we're just all having this casual conversation. K Michelle. Yeah, she's a new lady. She's a new lady over here on the Housewives. K Michelle's looking at them like, I'm confused, because y'all were going low, like ripping each other apart, and now everybody's just cool. Everything's cool. Well, I appreciate you coming over here, Lotus Egyptian Flower, just to hear the breakdown. But I'm going to break it down where, you don't necessarily have to go over here. Like I said, it's a bunch of hot pockets and hoe baths going on. Thoughts and plots and thoughts. That's what they're doing over here. And I'm here to try to figure out what the hell is real and what's just here for entertainment. K Michelle, like I said, is confused. I feel like that's normal. Like her reaction to things. Everybody wants K Michelle to be, I don't remember, and I did watch Love and Hip Hop back when K Michelle was on there. I remember her being a little spicy, but I feel like she was fighting for her life to clear her name as far as Memphis and the physical abusc that she was getting from him. I feel like she wasn't like the pop off by herself. You know what I mean? Maybe it was a reaction. I don't feel like her being that diabolical. I know, based on what we're looking at now, clearly she has a lot of insecurities, and her insecurities go deep. And like I said, from, the first couple episodes, because I'm getting reintroduced to K Michelle. I seen her show that she had on her own. I think it was on VH1. And I feel like that Dennis boyfriend was a part of that show. Like, she's somebody that, like, she's been dating for real. He's her husband now, but I feel like she dated him back then too. But K Michelle is generally surrounded by people that work for her. She's one of those, like Tamar. That did her and Tamar have? I don't know, but because I feel like they be fighting over singers. They get in these singers fights that don't make any sense anyway. I'm chasing butterflies. K Michelle I don't remember her being problematic. You know what I'm saying? So her reaction to me is quite normal. Y'all were saying K Michelle, not y'all, but people were saying that K Michelle was going to come over here and make this like to Love and Hip Hop. And I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between Housewives and Love and Hip Hop, because they've been doing the same stuff. So I don't feel like K Michelle can come over here and do anything to this show that's not already, been done. Cynthia kicked Portia in the pussy. Portia dragged Kenya across the stage, with a bullhorn in her hand. It's been a lot of things that's gone on over here that I don't think K Michelle can muddy it up. So I don't really understand that. She is just somebody who's already been on a reality show. We're familiar with her. And, was Portia worried that K Michelle was going to be the queen of the show? I hate that whole queen of the show thing anyway. You know what I mean? If everybody just comes and, does what brings to the table, what they bring to the table, it would be way better. I'm the whole queen of the show thing. And the queen of the show, Portia, lies all the damn time. So her portion of the show don't even make sense. K. Michelle called Tamar Miss Piggy. I remember. I knew there was a fight between them. So that being said, K. Michelle is used to fighting. I don't think she's a timid little flower. I think she's over here trying to be on her namaste. And she's switching into her country music genre. I feel like she got it in her for sure. But in this very moment right here, y'all look a fool. Like, why? How do I operate amongst people who cuss each other the hell out? And with a flip of a hat, everybody's cool. It was like a whole scene. Huh? Are they pretending? Feels like it. It feels like they're pretending. And K. Michelle's like, what in the hell? Is happening with you ladies? Do you like each other? She went out to lunch with Portia and Kelly, and Portia pulls out this cockamamie story about Kelly sleeping with somebody. And so if I'm K. Michelle, I'm like, Portia be starting a lot of shit. Like, is it real or is it not real? I would have my eye on her too. I would not feel like Portia is somebody I can trust. So I'm not mad at that. And like I said, everything Portia does is suspect around here. K. Michelle, keep your head on the swivel because Portia is not to be trusted. So they get to this restaurant. What was it called? Bar Eden. I mean, I feel like if it's one thing Cynthia knows how to do is pick somewhere to eat because, her and Peter were those restaurant tours at one point. What happened down to the bar? Where the Honda cars be. Shout out to Funky Dineva. Well, we know what happens when people get down to a dinner table. The shit pops off. I will say they were able to, get at least to the food before, things went left. So, congratulations for that. Because I hate it when we sit down and people start fighting. Like at Stormy's house, we gotta wait till next week to see what the food was. We know it's good because she's been serving food this whole time. And so at least, we got his chance to like sit down and relax, get a couple cocktails. Not Pinky. Pinky, unfortunately, won't be having any cocktails because for whatever reason, Cynthia applied her with tequila. And now the lady is sick. She's been over here where Cynthia's taking her to meat restaurants and there's only French fries as an option. So I don't know. That was the day before. Pinky, that's no excuse. You've been vegan for a long time. You should know your limits. You smashing down tequila shots and now you're walking around. I feel like Pinky is a little lady. Now you're walking around tipsy in the bathroom and there's nothing worse than that. Situation doesn't get better. You know what I'm saying? It's not like bubble guts. It's not like she has to go and have a good poop. You know what I'm saying? And then like she'd be straight when she get to the back to the house, but that's not the situation. She is drunk off tequila. This is about to be a long ride, depending on how drunk she is. She having the hot sweats and needs ginger ale. Cynthia checks on her because Cynthia should check on her. You're the host, Cynthia. Go see what's wrong with the lady. You was the one providing all this tequila for Pinky. So, yeah. Cynthia comes back to the table. The ladies are, enjoying. I feel like at some point Pinky had ordered food. So I don't know what happened, but they ate her food. So it doesn't matter. This restaurant had fried artichokes. I've had that before. That's not food. That's that's not food. Anyway, Cynthia ordered raw oysters. And this is where the drama begins. And I'm like, you know how they always saying that these ladies have their reeds like in the cuff on ready. So when the situation arises, then, you already got your reed ready. This is how they do it. I didn't know that. I know they have, you just never know when to, you got to know when to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Teresa, what's her name? Portia was pulling out the reed the way it was supposed to go, but this is where shit gets weird. Cynthia orders raw oysters and Drew says, and I'm specific about this particular situation because initially I thought K Michelle was bugging. But when I went back and looked at it again, I was like, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's onto something. Anyway, because it was out of nowhere. Um, Drew says, "Be careful, Cynthia, with those oysters," right? And so Portia says, "Let me check them for you," which I didn't like. But Portia like then starts picking around her oysters with a knife, pretending like she was inspecting them. I would prefer you don't touch my food. It was irritating to me because I wouldn't even actually want the oysters now that Portia's been stirring around and as if it's her food. And she says, "This pussy is clean." And everybody's like, "What? Why you say that? I'm about to eat these oysters." That's not the last thought I would like to have in my mind. You know what I'm saying? You do have to be careful with the raw oysters. Listen, when they're good, they're good. And when they're not, I don't know. Probably not. I prefer mine steamed, but I have had some good raw oysters. I had to try it for myself. And if you're, weird about textures, then you're not going to like it. Is it absolutely delicious? Something I always have to have? No, it's like, for an occasion. And I wouldn't sit there and eat them all to myself either. I feel like raw oysters are for, whoever is at the table that's feeling like froggy that night. But anyway, she passed the oysters over to Cynthia, and then she said, "This one right here might have a little scent." Okay. Then K Michelle looks at Portia like, "Wait a minute, what?" K Michelle has been bullied a lot by the men in her life. So Mano, which I didn't even know was her man, but he went on the Breakfast Club and said, "K Michelle's cootie cat stinks." And I feel like I remember that rumor, but Mano's whack. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, that was just a low blow for somebody that you're no longer with. It's like when the girls say the man had a little dick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you're like, okay, girl, but you was over there in a committed relationship with the little dick man. Now that y'all are breaking up, you want to, switch the scenario. So that's, what Mano did. Obviously, this has caused trauma to this lady because she has dealt with the bullying behind him saying that, which I'm sure sucks. So at first I was like, maybe she's just triggered, you know what I'm saying, because of that. But then I'm like, there's no way in the world that Portia did not, she knows about that. She's a journalist. She was back over on, what's that show with the brat and them? Anyway, Dish Nation. She was over there on Dish Nation. She knows all that celebrity gossip. She bees out in here in the street with R. Kelly and Future and them. There's no way you can tell me that Portia did not know about that rumor and then she didn't slide that in there as a dig. And K Michelle, I feel like at first, like I said, I thought she was being sensitive, but now when I look back at it, and then you got, Phaedra over here with her tongue hanging out of her mouth. Cynthia laughed, but I don't think Cynthia knew. I think Cynthia was just laughing to be nice because she didn't really get the joke, but it just seemed like the thing to say at the thing to do at the moment. Drew made a face. And I was like, what was that face about? Like if that wasn't just some clever editing, I don't know. But Drew made a face that made it seem like she was in on whatever was happening over here. Like, no, you didn't say that. At the very least, she knows about that rumor. So yeah, I think that was not an accident. And I think that's what these ladies do. They dig around, bone collecting, just like Angela's talking about the lady in the third wife in the basement. They go find out information on each other and I guess put it in the daggum arsenal just when you're ready to bring it out. So yeah, that's how this whole mess started. Phaedra. Oh yeah. She did participate. So Portia hands over the plate and she said, "That vagina is clean." And then you can hear Phaedra in the background, repeating, that vagina clean, and her tongue, like I said, hanging out of her mouth like a weirdo. K Michelle's clearly bothered. She looking at the three of them like, oh, okay, I see what's happening over here. Angela's like, what is she talking about? What does she mean vagina for? So Angela, the allies did not include you. They can't trust that you won't go run your mouth to the other side, to the ops. So they have somewhat recruited you to be a part of their team just because maybe you and Shamia don't get along, but you really won't be in on all of this shit that's going on with Phaedra and Drew, possibly. Yeah, I feel like Drew, she knows something. You know what I'm saying? If anything, she knows Portia was over there running her mouth like she liked to do, talking about effing people's husbands and stuff, because that's how she do. If Portia is part of the rainbow, why would she say that joke? Which joke? About the stinky coochie? I don't know. She just got accused of having Frito coochie. That's why I said it's a lot of vagina conversation going on over here. That's what had me confused. But it was the interaction, just around the table that kind of changed my mind. And then K Michelle, somebody told her. So for me, that kind of solidified it. But yeah, I don't trust these bandits. So I have to, double check what I think, what I'm seeing. I don't know. I think it was, and again, in Portia's mind, I'm not trying to defend her, but I think in Portia's mind, if she said that, you know how they be thinking they throwing shade, not knowing like what this lady went through as it relates to having some man say that about you. It's different when, some adversary calls you hot chili Frito coochie. This different than when a man that, you were in a relationship with says something like that just to hurt you. And then you're a public figure. So people are going to continue to carry on this thing. And, even though Portia might have thought she was being cute, the lady says she's not healed. So it's not cute. And K Michelle, you've watched this show. You cannot tell me, like, you should be on guard waiting on them to pull the bullshit, because that's what happens over here. I don't know what her expectation is coming over here. I see what's happening and how they coming for her, and I don't want anybody smiling in my face and doing shit behind my back either. But you had to know that that's what happens. And shit, Portia was a good part of all of that, her and Phaedra. So you're a fan, you're a fan, you're a fan. You know what it is. Out of the blue, Kay asked Shamia, how is she feeling? And Kay says she's trying to be holy. That's what she feels like. She says she's holding back from saying what she really wants to say. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't know, like, what the hell is going on with you bitches. Probably 1 minute y'all are tearing each other down, and the next minute, it's all good. And, we're out to have a nice lunch, and Portia come out her pocket with some wild story. Shamia says she wants Kay to feel like this is a safe space. Kay said, this shit ain't safe. She's right. It's not safe for anybody. Shamia, are you offering us a safe space while y'all was over here talking about Pinky eat meat and grinning in her face? It's the same thing. K Michelle, it's the same thing. Kelly and Shamia were like, oh, I seen her eat a steak. They just saying stuff about this lady, and she's over here going to bat for them, because they're over in the dirty pool house, and they carrying a lie. Both of them know what they said. Anyway, yes, this is not safe. And like I said, I'm not sure what Kay's expectations were, but yeah, I know you didn't think you were coming over here to a safe space. It's never been a safe space. This is another thing that made me look side-eye Portia. When K Michelle is saying this shit ain't safe, y'all like tear each other down or whatever, Portia decides to take this moment to apologize to Kelly. She said what she was saying to Kelly on the Sprinter sounded like a spell, and she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to talk about a Black woman's businesses like that. That's not who she is today. Because remember, she went over there and sat with Carlos King. So there's, recorded evidence that she's a different woman today. But, and this is even further along, in real life. So, yeah, this is not who she is. She wants to apologize to Kelly. And she said, maybe, we could talk later. And Kelly is like, I am good right where it is. It's good right here. I don't blame Kelly. Girl, no. You already started a lie about me. You stood in that shit. And the thing that you want to take back is what you said about my business. What about what you said about a married man? And you got Phaedra over here talking about, no, don't say it. Because, the wife will be the one, that suffers. Y'all are, it's like a, what you call it, telenovela over here with Portia and Phaedra. A comedy telenovela. Because they are a joke. Um, Yeah, Kelly said we good where we are. So, Drew asked Kay, can I ask you a question? What has you feeling away? And Kay said that I've been standoffish because you keep trying to connect me with Black, like I know him, and I don't know the man. And again, we can say, I don't know. I think Kay keeps bringing it up, but I also think Drew is on bullshit. Why is she carrying Black around on her phone? Because he was supposed to be somebody that she was not involved with at all. Now she over here like, I love him. I feel like Black and Drew are over here with the shits too. Drew is with the shits with Ralph. We haven't heard nothing lately in the last couple of weeks or so. We don't know if she still lives in that man's house or not. But at the time, right now, in this restaurant, I think he's living under the stairs. And while he's living under the stairs or in the basement, they keep saying he's under the stairs. The man in the basement is having her kicked out of the house in real time. And she's carrying Black around, child, like he's her Polly Pocket. So, I mean, it's not normal. Nobody else is doing that. You don't see Charles being carried around in a phone. Okay, Michelle's husband not being carried around in a phone. Phaedra ain't got nobody, but that boy that she keeps bringing over here, I don't even think she really even likes him, let alone carry him around on the phone. And Portia's over here juggling which sex that she really wants to be bothered with. And she can do that, but I mean, she ain't got nothing. Mike ain't in the phone, and Suede ain't either, or whatever the girl's name is, her real girlfriend, real life person. Yeah, so Drew carrying Black around in the phone is unusual. And so, we don't know what they got going on here, but I do know that K. Michelle said that somebody called her after dinner and told her that there's a plot being played on her. Somebody was supposed to try to put her, try to connect her with their, what she called jump off. And somebody is supposed to try to bring up an old thing that happened with, her and an ex-boyfriend. So I just feel like somebody told her that. And so now that makes me like, so then you guys are plotting. That's just too specific for somebody to come up with that. And I don't think she made it up. I don't think she made it up that somebody called her. We don't know who did. I don't think it was one of the cast members, but it's one of the somebodies that's in on what's going on over here. You know how on these blogs before the show started, we was getting all kinds of tea. So somebody be up in the mix with, real information. And somebody told her, clearly a fan of hers, that these guys were plotting against her. And when somebody is grinning in your face and pretending to be cool with you, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that makes you even more suspicious of everything they do. I feel like then after that, everything you do is going to be weird to me. Why are you standing like that? What are you trying to do with your feet turned that way? Everything you do is suspect. And there's no way in the world she should be trusting Portia for anything. And Portia keeps saying, I brought you in this friend group. Cut it out. That's how that worked. Portia, that's not how. Now you want to be claiming somebody that you brought in the friend group. Last time when you brought somebody in, Fallon, you was like, I don't know her. We ain't friends. They told me to bring her over here to the show. Now it's K. Michelle, and you want to be taking credit for bringing her into the friend group. Which thing is it, Portia? What else happened, child? Yes, no, Kelly doesn't want to talk to her. And I was all the way over here. Drew, and she still talk about Black. Drew said Black is single and he can DM anybody he wants to DM. We're not together. And K Michelle is like, I don't know him though. Like he was in my DMs. He goes in her sister's DMs. And the word on the street is everybody know Black. So I don't think that's why Drew is not bothered because everybody know Black. She has this man on her, phone, not because she loves him, but because everybody knows Black. So, and he's the hookah man, and he might have a little paper, but it's something for her to do. If she didn't have Black on the phone, Ralph is not filming. So then what was she gonna be doing? Take Black out of Drew's scenario, and what is she doing? We saw her Tubi movie or whatever that movie, space alien movie. We saw the what is it? The premiere. We saw the premiere, not of the movie, but that they had a premiere. And so what else would she be doing? It feels like she's bringing Black over here to have something to talk about. And Black seems messy, just like the rest of them. He likes the mess. So him and Drew might be over there planning and plotting and plotting and planning. Okay, Michelle says she got a husband. And, her coochie been fixed and renewed. And they know nothing about what's going on with this coochie that she's got now. That was wild. I was like, you did what to your coochie? Girl, but I'm not surprised because she's done something to everything else. That's a big part of her problem. Unfortunately. So when Drew was saying, how her and Black are just friends, and she's coming at K Michelle with this face like, you can't tell when Drew is acting. So that's another reason why she can't be trusted. We don't know when she's being for real, when she's not being for real. And I don't know, her and Shamia had a tiff about who's the best singer. So it wouldn't surprise me that she would be being competitive with K Michelle in that same realm, which is stupid because I don't like the competition thing with the singers. How come we can't both be good singers? She said they're just kicking it a lot on her job. She kicking it with the man while she at work for us all to see. He's even getting scenes and he's not even there. So the whole time Drew is saying like how it's no big deal. Shamia is basically saying you be on the phone with the nigga all for hours and hours at a time. So you can't sit up here and say that you're unbothered that he would be in somebody's DMs that's in your social circle. I don't think she cared like that to be bothered. To be honest, I think this is a setup. And Todd didn't have nothing to do with it this time. K Michelle is like, don't do that. Like, I'm trying to like mend bridges with this girl, mend fences with this girl, and you're in the background with all this chatter. Like, you're never gonna be able to, come to some type of closure and understanding. And Shamia is like, she throw jabs at me, I throw jabs at her. This ain't a relationship that's gonna be mended. So there's that. There's a big conversation about whether Shamia is the one that's like influencing K Michelle. I don't know that she's influencing her, but she's definitely, throwing gasoline on the fire. But they don't like each other, so I'm not mad at it. Why wouldn't I say how that bitch is a liar? And her and Kelly both. Why wouldn't I say that? Because it's true. So, I don't think Shamia is that much different than Portia, though. Kay said you trying to make a brand new beef. I mean, I guess the beef ain't never been shut down, so it's not a brand new beef. It's the same old beef. The next day, everybody's at breakfast, discussing the dinner from the night before, and Kay Michelle's not there. She's in her room, probably trying to figure out how she gonna come down here and talk to these women that's playing in her face. Because she said after the dinner, when they got back, to the house, somebody called her and told her that these two were plotting behind her. So now she's like, okay, she got to figure out how she gonna go down here and, interact and be fake. Some people can't be fake. I can't. Welcome to the chat, Nicole Slade 2123. The difference between Roa and love and hip hop is the standard on set and consequences for the actions. Uh, the standard on set? What you mean? What's the standard on set that's different? I get it, like it's a little more. I don't know. I can't say because to me, the K Michelle I remember was not problematic, not in a way like Jocelyn. Like if they would have brought Jocelyn Hernandez over here, then I would probably be like, oh my God, they're hip hop loving hip hop in it. But that's not the case. I feel like K Michelle, um, like Cardi went on after that. Like she's known for, something other than her biggest accomplishment is not loving hip hop. She just was over there. And when she was over there, I feel like she was retaliating against all those girls that didn't like her. But I also think K Michelle is coming over here with the expectation of what? That these are gonna be nice girls and y'all are just gonna hang out and, not have to deal with the bullying and bullshit because she's seen the show before. She knows what it looks like, and she knows the works of freaking frack. So anybody that knows this show, like we all do, friggin' frack would definitely not be your go-to if you were gonna pick a friend. That's why everybody's like, just give me Cynthia, because I know Cynthia's just gonna be regular. Um, she tried to spice it up this time, but Cynthia knows the assignment too. So she gonna act like how she needs to act to get this check. She's a friend of the show that just had 3 episodes. We've been in Dallas for 3 episodes on Cynthia, the friend of the show. So yeah, I don't know. Um, K Michelle comes down and they're all having their little chit chatter and she kind of like sucks the energy out because I feel like she knows. They were like, "Hey, how are you, K Michelle?" She's like, "Fine." Pinky had got drunk. She was like, "How was the dinner last night?" "It was fine." "Good conversation?" "Sure." And Pinky, when has there been good conversation in any of these settings? Not once. So yeah, that's not likely to happen. And but it does feel like everybody's sitting at that table all of a sudden is kind of tiptoeing around her emotions. They don't know where she gonna come from. Um, Angela, of course, Angela does. Angela brings up, "Hey, Michelle, you said you didn't feel like this was a safe space yesterday. How are you feeling about that?" And Kay like tries to like get out. You know how when all your emotions is like stuck right there in your chest and you're trying to push them in, but somebody say that one thing and it all just comes flooding out. I feel like that's what happened. She was trying to hold it in. She's not good at it. And then Angela asked that one question because she doesn't know like how she's found out that people are plotting. Now she's probably looking at everybody. I don't know what the hell is going on with these girls over here. So, she starts crying. Everybody gets up to console her. You know, I feel like who was it? Angela and Portia are low key irritated because I don't know why. Why are you irritated? The lady is drained. She had a long day and, something happened to her. So she needs to express herself, without expressing herself, where y'all won't say she's a loving hip hop girl. That's what she came over here as if. Um, I feel like Cardi Red is just loving hip hop. What does she do? Every season she comes back with a different face and a young boyfriend or fiance or whatever. She's loving hip hop. Kurt and Rashida, they're loving hip hop. We don't know anything about them publicly besides, what they're giving over there. They're actually the face of loving hip hop, Kurt and Rashida. Cardi B came through there, did what she had to do, and now she's a superstar. So you don't look at Cardi B and think of love and hip hop, although her behavior is very much love and hip hop. That part is real. Um, K Michelle is just to me always been kind of sad to me because her self esteem is all busted up. And yeah, she doesn't seem like she has people around her like as her friend group. She has her people that work for her. And so, yeah, negotiating and navigating over here is gonna be stressful, girl. So if you're gonna cry or you're gonna pop off and feel like they're determined to bring it out of her, but it's okay. She's right in her element. Um, she says she is not gonna sit here smiling in people's face that's plotting to hurt her. And she says she knows who's plotting because she see everything and she hear everything, and they know who they are. And them that were plotting is confused. They're like, what does she mean? What does she mean? Who's plotting? Who said they were plotting? Plotting against who? Portia goes in close. She feels like, okay, Michelle, talking, she scratches down and talking to her soft. Okay, Michelle, like I brought you in this group, girl. And if somebody, you need to like let me know who's plotting against you so I can defend you. What? That don't even sound right. Defend you against what? Portia? You over here with your own. They're calling you a husband fucker. That's what they're calling you with hot Cheeto coochie. And you following up with whole baths. So I'm good, girl. I don't need you to defend me. Defend your own self. Because they said you was over here messing with that lady's husband. You stole the lady's husband. You're never going to beat those allegations. I don't care how many times you interview with Carlos King and say you're a different woman. Child, I don't blame K. Michelle. And Portia all up in her face. Imagine somebody you know they're trying to do you dirty and they're in your face. Mind you, Portia didn't have any beat on. There was no glam. So shout out to you ladies for coming to breakfast with no glam on, because I think that looks silly when y'all come out the room already done. Kay says she's not able to talk about it right now. She's done. I'm not finna tell y'all who or what, it is right now. I just know, I know who you are and you know who you are. So, you can walk away with that. And then Angela looks at Shamia and, clocks her making faces. And then she's like, I think Shamia knows something. I was seeing some notes I missed. K. Michelle said, she said the person told her that that the people plotting were gonna imply that she was with somebody's boyfriend or bring up the stinky coochie rumor. So have they done that? A little bit, we haven't seen it directly happen. We don't know how it's gonna play out now because somebody, the gig is up, so they won't be able to get her vulnerable. She don't trust y'all. Angela is saying, you know what it is, and it's your duty, Shamia. You make your face and you know what's going on. And I'm like, isn't that Shamia's job to tell y'all what somebody told her in confidence? That doesn't make sense, Angela. Is that how you really move? If somebody tells you something in confidence, that's how she's been moving. She's been going back and forth in between the groups, saying what happened on both sides, and that's why she's the ally in the dark. I don't think Angela has any friends over here. Keep thinking Drew is your friend. Drew is her own friend. And your relationship with Portia probably depends on your relationship with Drew, depending on where they at in the friend zone. The ladies feel like Shamia's filling K. Michelle's head with lies. I don't know if she's filling her head with lies. She's telling her how you ladies move, and y'all are proving probably that's exactly the truth. I don't see why Shamia should be in company with K. Michelle trying to hold y'all up to any standard. Y'all don't like her. Y'all put her in the outhouse, the pool house. So, that's how she moving. And I can't be mad at that. We not, but we gonna blame Shamia. Even though you're lying, which is wild. Maybe somebody called her like she said. Anyway, everybody gets up and they leave the table. Kelly and Shamia, that crew, who was it? Kelly, Shamia, K. Michelle, and Pinky. They go outside to talk. And then the rest of the ladies go, I don't know whose room that was, Portia's room or Cynthia's room. They were all sitting in the bed together trying to figure out what the heck was that? What just happened? Cynthia doesn't know anything about a plot, but she's not surprised because she's been here for a long time and she's avoiding the plot. So she's just gonna fight with Pinky because that's easier. And then Angela, like she thinks she's one of the girls, but she's not in on the plot. So, that's unfortunate for her. And K Michelle is outside crying, child, because I guess the emotions are getting the best of her. Um, K Michelle said, Portia and Drew and Phaedra were plotting against her and smiling in her face. That's what she's out there telling. Now Pinky's in on the story. Um, she also admitted that she's not healed from that. So, ooh, I can't see that. Where's my phone? So I can see what she tweeted. Because K Michelle doesn't say what's on her mind. She goes to Twitter and tweets it. And I mean, I guess girls, that's how you got to get it off your chest. She said it takes a it if child, this is tiny. If it takes a group, plot, a rumor, and a scheme to bring me down, when am I? What did she say? When I'm coming in love, you already lost the game. So, and you lost in life. That was one tweet. They sitting in here trying to figure out what the hell she talking about. Look at the look on Portia and Phaedra's face. Oh, if it takes a group, that's what she said in both of the things, in the both of the tweets. I mean, I guess, child, they are sitting up here so confused. That's hilarious. Shamia centers herself. I mean, I guess I'm not mad that she addressed it because that is what they were doing. They were getting ready, for this event, this gala. Tonight is the gala. And come on, get up there. Tonight is the night of the gala. They was all in the house getting ready. As Phaedra said, it take them forever to get ready to do things anyway. And so Shamia decided she wanted to call a meeting. So she goes over to the big house and she screams, "Can I talk to you ladies for a minute?" So they all came outside like, "Girl, we trying to get ready. You want to call people over here?" And, she basically was telling them, y'all are trying to make me the fall guy. This lady, K Michelle, came to me with a situation, and it was not my business to tell this lady's business. So, and she's right. She says she didn't ask nothing. I don't know what they thought she was going to do. 'Cause to me, this sounds stupid to even try to blame Shamia for this. Yet Shamia's over there putting things in her ear. Like I said, probably the truth though. Like I don't believe that Shamia is over there making things up about Portia because there's so many reasons for, Portia's shit is already there. You don't have to make anything up. I'm just saying. So yeah, she made her formal announcement. They all look at her like they don't know what she's talking about. They know what she's talking about. She says she's not gonna be held responsible for this shit. So y'all can find another fall guy for this because it ain't me. And K Michelle's like she's sick and tired. Drew telling everybody like she's with Black, and Drew said, "I said it one time." She did. She said it one time, but Black is always there, and I think maybe there's more to that story. At this point, I feel like it's kind of like that stupid mop over on Bell Collective Birmingham. I feel like it's not about you saying it one time or you saying it 10 times. What you said was Black. And K Michelle's like, I don't know Black. This nigga was in my DMs. And yeah, that's all there was to that. So don't try to make it seem like I know him. I got enough niggas out here saying shit about me, probably referencing what Mano said. And so don't do that. I don't want you to be trying to connect me with Black. I think it's more about that. So I think when K Michelle, this is just my opinion, when K Michelle brings up Black, it's because she wants to make it clear. She's on the whole I'm married now thing, and that's a whole nother conversation. But with this particular situation, I feel like K Michelle just wants to make it clear that this lady keeps like being around on the phone with Black, and I have no connection with him whatsoever. Don't know the man. And so I believe she don't know him. He seems like he's somebody that's like groupie trying to get to know everybody. That seems like what he's trying to do. Um, she starts snapping on Drew. Drew was standing up there like bossing up, like that whole I'm from Chicago thing. I don't think that's gonna help. I don't even think Drew can fight necessarily. I mean, she would have to show me because I don't think she can. And then K Michelle finally like y'all wanted it, y'all got it. She ignited a little bit. She said, yeah, don't be trying to put me over here with somebody. And then Drew did some thing like over here, like I don't know you. And then K Michelle's like, you standing up. She said something about don't nobody want to hear about the man under the stairs. That shit is boring. And Drew said, that's my life. I have a hard time keeping up with the fights when they gonna be going back and forth. And then Drew did something like, I don't know you. And K Michelle is like, what are you, TLC now? Child, it was one of those fights that went back and forth. Like I said, that y'all wanted her ignited. So she ignited, she snapped. And after K Michelle finished snapping, everybody like, they have to get ready for the gala. So again, we're gonna switch emotions. We're gonna argue right quick out here, and then we're gonna go inside the house and get ready to go to this gala. Cynthia said, I don't really give a shit. Y'all can get dressed, and then whatever y'all do after tonight, please, I don't care. I'm tired of y'all now because for Cynthia, this is about real business. You know what I'm saying? She got her numbers and everything. All the things that this girl Shamia don't have, Cynthia actually has. Her dots, her I's dotted and her T's crossed. So there's that. Um, Cynthia was like, I don't even care. She had the beach going on behind her. I was like, I'm at the beach with Cynthia. When they start arguing back and forth, I lose track. I don't know what they, hollering back and forth. They can't get their point across. Whoever's the loudest is not the rightest. So please sit down, Drew. Cynthia has this guy come through. They have all of their, Dallas meets what's the show? Dynasty vibes going on with their ball gowns and things and formal gowns, not ball gowns. But Cynthia has this guy come over to lace them in jewelry. That's fun. So they get to be at the party and get their pictures taken and everything with real jewelry. So Cynthia like put her energy into the party. That's for sure. On the way to the event, she gets a call and a panic from her partner who apparently the weather is bad. She kept saying hurricane. I don't think it was a hurricane because if it was a hurricane, trust and believe that building would have been shut down and then people would have had to go home. Anyway, but I guess it was raining really hard. They moved the party on the inside, and that's Dynasty is on the inside anyway. So it was a nice venue that was prepared for this type of situation. So yeah, they got over there and everybody looked lovely, I suppose. I didn't like that wig Shamia had on. I don't know what but I mean, yeah, it wasn't giving Dynasty. It was giving kind of drunk auntie. I'm not sure why Pinky is wearing a sombrero, but I didn't see nobody wearing no sombreros on Dynasty. Kelly and Angela, they look regular. I mean, I feel like these are dresses that would be worn like today. So they didn't get the fancy dress memo. I don't like Angela with that wig. Put the blonde hair away. Phaedra looks like Dynasty. I think she got it. And Cynthia looked like Diana Ross, so she didn't even catch the theme of her own party. I didn't get a picture of K Michelle, but K Michelle looked really pretty too. I feel like K Michelle and Phaedra probably were the two, the winners for me in terms of the contest. Uh, Portia says she pulled out a dress that she had when she was pregnant. So, and that's what it looked like. Just I can't even really tell you what it looked like. But Phaedra and Phaedra's glam been killing this season. I'm gonna say that her and K Michelle did look the best to me. Let's see what happened over here. Drew says she didn't go. Drew didn't go because Drew said she had a headache. Now, did she have a headache because she wasn't interested in like having to answer any more questions? Okay, Michelle's husband is there now, girl. She not gonna have anything, you know what I'm saying, to say to you with her man there. All the husbands, not all the husbands. I didn't see Charles. Pinky's husband is there, and we know Gerald ain't coming. And K Michelle's husband was there. That's all I seen. I didn't even see Cynthia's man. So yeah, you had these husbands come off here for what? K Michelle about needed her husband. I'm glad he came because she about needed him to come over there and get her in her calm space because she been dealing with it. She needs to tell somebody she trusts what's going on behind the scenes so he can help her, you know, manage her emotions through it. So we'll see what happens next time. But I feel like K Michelle got y'all on blast. Y'all and didn't say who y'all are, but y'all know who you are. And you know who you're not. She's over there with Shamia and Kelly. And so you know her little clique of people, they know what's going on. And they know it's y'all too. They just don't know exactly who. And Angela, well, she's, you know, just like she's standing there looking out of place. She's out of place over here, you know, in this drama at the moment. So, child, Drew arrived at the party and the party was over. They was finna go out there, leave. Drew, that's rude. You know what I'm saying? Cynthia was over here treating you like, you know, one of the inside the house people. And you couldn't even make it to her event. And this is the event. This is why you came here. This is the type of stuff Drew does. That I think that was very rude. You have a headache. You better take you a BC Potter. I don't think Drew should get paid for that, showing up just to turn around and walk away. So Cynthia had a successful event. She sent these ladies home in a private jet and what have you. And so I guess we'll see, you know, what happens next week. They didn't give us no preview, but I really I watched it, like I said, the first time, and I thought, okay, Michelle, relax, calm down. What is you crying about? Then I start looking at it, you know what I'm saying, and picking out details and seeing like how things were really, you know, coming to fruition. And so now I want to see how this is going to play out next, because Portia said that the beef between Drew, she said this on Carlos King's show. She said the beef between Drew and K Michelle is not going to play out the way she thinks it is, because we don't know why. Portia doesn't either, because it hasn't aired. She doesn't know how it's going to be edited. And based on the way things happen out here in the internet sphere, you know, they could change the narrative at any time. So she may have spoke too soon, because right now, you know, I'm not feeling no way about K Michelle and how she's approaching the situation just yet. Just because she peeped y'all's bullshit and how she responds is how she responds. So she been over here on Twitter like since that night, because that's where she goes. So Portia and K Michelle are officially in a Twitter fight. This is over here Cynthia talking about. I'm gonna play this one right quick first, because Cynthia, she's over here.
Can you give us the BTS about it? I need to know what it really felt like.
Okay.
And by the way, those girls were so annoying complaining about their dirty room. It did not look dirty.
It, like, honestly,
they looked dumb about it.
We looked at the room. I didn't notice it to be dirty. I would never intentionally put someone in a dirty room.
We all know
just so you know that I just wouldn't do that. That's not fun. That's not shady. That's just like
never.
Cool.
But it didn't look dirty. They were just being brats about it.
Look,
by the way, that guest house looks nice.
There was dust on the ceiling fan. Like,
so
who is going to climb up to the ceiling fan to see if it's dusty? But anyway.
Also, you're in the middle of Texas. Like, there's dirt everywhere.
Well, just know that as soon as it was brought to my attention, I was on top of it, trying to rectify it, brought it to the owner's attention. And she was so sweet, by the way.
Yeah.
The lady.
No, I could see when you came to help.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, are we done?
Yeah.
That like you felt so bad for the owner, because these girls were trying to make a moment. And I'm like, dude, this is someone's home and business. And you guys are trying to make a moment that you didn't get the nice room, but you're really trashing someone that didn't deserve it. And I could see you were like, stop it, guys.
The next episode, 50 Cent comes out. Because
can you give us the BTS?
Okay, I'm going to say this about that. I'm going to say Cynthia is on bullshit. Don't try to backtrack and take it back now. Everybody said the room was dirty. Crystal, you were not there. So you cannot determine whether somebody should be comfortable with a dirty room. They should not. That's why they were moved to other accommodations until the room got clean, as they should have been, because that's unacceptable. You trying to downplay it like they were saying the ceiling fan is dusty. Have we seen a smudge on the sheets? I don't want to get in those sheets either. And as far as the owner, if you're going to have your house displayed on Bravo, on one of the Real Housewives franchise, you should have made sure that people could clean that house from the rooter to the tutor. So that's on the owner. Like, you should assume that they're coming over here with multiple people. We're going to have access to all the homes. We're going to utilize all of this space. So if I'm the owner of that home, I'm going to go oversee and make sure everything is prepared to go on this television show. So again, I feel like Kelly and Shamia were definitely being annoying, but I mean, nobody wants to stay in a dirty room. And these women are accustomed to something different. Crystal, I bet you Crystal would have laid her ass up in that room. That's for daggone sure. So it says, K. Michelle says, Portia Williams thinks she runs ROA, but K. Michelle says she doesn't. So ROA fans have been voicing their disappointment with K. Michelle on the show. Have they? Why? A lot of viewers feel like she's fading into the background, while Pinky Cole has made a much bigger impact this season. I disagree. I feel like K. Michelle came over here, shared the whole situation with, her having surgery and stuff, and then she still showed up like to work. So come on. Pinky is just a little bit more abrasive, but I don't think that's aggressive. I think like we said before, she's from Baltimore, they're Georgia peaches, so her communication style is different, but I feel like they both have come through. I don't think one has outshined the other. I think K. Michelle and Pinky have both come with real life situations, and I like that a lot better than Portia's made up stories about men that child. Now, personally, I've actually been enjoying K. Michelle on the show. She seems to be trying to genuinely get to know the women while staying neutral with everyone. I agree. Until now, I feel like the lines are drawn in the sand. And I think she's having a solid season. I honestly don't know why fans aren't seeing it. I mean, are these fans or are some, you can't please everybody. Some people gonna have something to say. She went to Twitter and said, do y'all understand I'm the one that friends with all of these ladies. Y'all don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. I call every single lady Cynthia. I check on. I don't play about Phaedra. She's misunderstood. Clearly, this is before. Angela and me respect each other and want a read off. Shamia is Shamia, funny as hell, big heart, just a little hurt. Kelly, the person who ain't afraid of anyone, who truly makes sure I'm okay. Pinky is going to talk you to death about real shit. Portia is going to be funny and act like she run the show. I love them all. I have never had girls as friends. That's so sad. I'm like a lot of women. Let me grow. I mean, no harm in real life. I mean, this must have been, the post was 6 days ago. So I don't know what that's based on. Somebody said Portia does run the show. Does she really though? So, I guess, like I said, you can't please everybody. I don't know. This is still her same sentiment. Let's go to the next tweet, because this is where she gets all her stuff out. And it's because now they're seeing the show. You know what I'm saying? I think it's different when you're in the scene. Then when you see how the edit is, and then you see all the stuff that they were saying behind your back. Last night's episode ended with newcomer K. Michelle taking to X to throw some serious shade at Portia Williams' way. In addition to calling Portia a coward, K also alluded to Portia and some of the other ladies producing moments behind the scenes. Portia wasted no time firing back, directly calling Kay out. She said, "Who is a coward? I would define a coward as a person tweeting from the same house 2 doors down from me. Next time, let's do our job and bring it to the front door real time. That's how it's done in Roa." Oh, okay. So that sounds like the gauntlet has been thrown down. But Kay wasn't done. She doubled down, accusing Portia of sleeping with her ex while she was 2 doors down. Who is her ex? The drama appears to have sparked a comment Portia made during a group dinner. One Kay believes ties back to the old rumor about body odor that someone she's previously dated stated nearly 8 years ago. We know what that is now. During a confessional, Kay also admitted that she still hasn't healed from the drama and the lies from her ex. Well, this is what she tweeting. Her and Portia out here on Twitter. Y'all should be embarrassed. Okay, here it is. If you have a
What is you doing?
What are you checking for?
Okay, Portia, I don't let me checking it. Your face ain't right.
That vagina is clean. Checking for you first. What are you checking for? This one might be a little tense. That vagina is clean.
This is odd to me. What are you checking for? Does she always smell oysters? Oh no.
Talk about a rumor that a disgruntled ex said 8 years ago. I already know who you contacted, what blogs you called, to go read that and want to spread that. I think that is very talk about a rumor is hardening, and that shows the character of these women. The trauma that was caused by the rumor, it really hasn't gotten better. I can say I'm healed like a lot of people, but I haven't. It's hardening. And
I will say, I wish she would. Aside from this show, I wish she would get, some healing, because she got a lot. She got a lot she carrying, and she needs to talk to somebody to kind of help get her out of that space. This is all her tweets. Keep watching. Y'all know my character. And then she said, "Don't sit in my face." Excuse me. That was a burp. "Don't sit in my face and play like you don't know what you're talking about." I can't hardly see it, y'all. You want a reaction, you can have it. Say it to my face, or be quiet, coward. I'm definitely crying when I'm mad, at risk of returning to my old self. So she crying because she feel like she don't want to snap. She don't want to go back there. That's not a good feeling. That whole snapping out and crashing out is called crashing out for a reason. It does not feel good. I don't care how cozy it looks. I don't care how crazy it looks. All of that behind the scenes producing these ladies did. I knew about it, and I sat and watched quietly. I'm not new to this. So yeah, that make you mad when you know the deets and then you got somebody playing in your face. So this is Portia's tweets. Who is a coward? I would define a coward as a person tweeting from the same house 2 doors down from me. Next time, let's do our job and bring it to the front door real time. That's how it's done on Roa. This is Kay Michelle. And then Portia said, Twitter figure shaking the table. So they're going back and forth on Twitter after last night's episode, I guess, child. Right now I'm standing with Kay Michelle. You said Kay Michelle doing too much in that cowboy outfit. She wears a lot of outfits like that are like titty horns, like those old Madonna pointy bras. Anyway, y'all, that's where that ended. So I personally, I'm with Kay Michelle, child. I don't know what these ladies are up to. I'm not going to trust Portia for any reason. Because she's always that whole crew, Portia and Phaedra, El Cid. I know Phaedra is your fave, but she is not to be trusted. That's for darn sure. Anyway, y'all, I'm out. I'll see y'all next Tuesday for some more Real Housewives of Atlanta. In the meantime, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.